Hey guys, this is our third week talking about Joseph. Last week we learned that Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery. When he was sold into slavery, Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders and he was purchased by Potiphar. He was an Egyptian officer. You see, Potiphar was captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And it tells us over in Genesis chapter 39 that the Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master. Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything that he did. And it pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. You see, he put him in charge of his entire household and everything he owned. And from the day Joseph was put in charge of his master's household and property, the Lord began to bless Potiphar's household for Joseph's sake. All of his household affairs ran smoothly, and his crops and his livestock flourished. So Potiphar gave Joseph complete responsibility over everything he owned. With Joseph there, he didn't worry about anything except what kind of food to eat, maybe. So everything seemed to be going well for Joseph, but there was some trouble up ahead. You see, Potiphar's wife tried to get Joseph to do something that was wrong. And Joseph knew it was wrong, and he knew that God would not be pleased, and he told her no. Well, she kept on trying Joseph to get him to do the wrong thing, and he kept telling her no, that it would be a sin against God. And she didn't like it very well, and she ended up telling a lie about Joseph to her husband. Well, Potiphar was furious when he heard his wife's story about how Joseph had treated her, or supposedly treated her. So he took Joseph and he threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison, and he showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Isn't that cool? Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. You see, the Lord was with Joseph, and he caused everything that Joseph did to succeed. You see, God took what people planned for evil, and he brought good things from it. Even when things are not going our way, guys, or the way that we think they need to go, we need to remember something. We need to remember that God is always with us through the hard times and the good times. He has a plan for our life, and what we need to remember is we need to pray often, asking him to help us listen and to follow the plans that he has for us, even if we don't always understand. And then we need to make sure that we give him praise no matter what we are going through. Now, I will go and tell you, I've had a moment this week where I've had to remember all the things that Joseph went through. Me and Mr. Scott have had a bunch of things happen at our photography studio. Our power went out last week. Some things happened, and we needed to have new electrical put in our studio, and so we didn't have to get power back until Tuesday. Well, guess what happened Wednesday morning? The air went out. Mr. Scott needed to use his studio Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, so we had to move locations. And we were worried that we weren't going to be able to get our air cut back on, or that it was going to cost us a whole lot of money that we really didn't have. And we started praying about it, and I called some other people and had them pray about it. And then I remembered, I got to thinking about Joseph, and how Joseph probably had those moments where he was like, God, why am I going through this? What's going on? And then it made me think, God is always in control, even though we don't understand the things that we're going through or why we're having to go through them. But God is good to us. He's always with us. And he's always going to be with you too. We just have to put our faith in him and our trust in him, even when things are kind of crazy in the world that we're living in right now. Many of you may be wondering, am I going to get to start school in August? Or are we going to get to start school back? Or am I going to have to do school online? And you might be wondering, are you going to get to see your friends again? And what all is going on? But just think, God's with you, and I want you guys to have a great week.